All right, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Pam Muehlenbeck. I'm here with Kane.
Good evening.
And this is Wine Time, the show where we crack open a bottle of bubbly and suggest you do the same.
Your voice is so husky today.
I know.
Pia's not well, guys. That's why the podcast is a little bit late.
Yeah.
And we went skiing. But also, she's been battling this really sore throat for about 5 days. So
I know.
This might be a bit of a shorter podcast this week just because she keeps having to stop to cough.
I have actually been bedridden.
Yeah,
I was convinced I might have COVID again, but I've tested and it's negative. So
Did you do a test today as well?
No.
Great.
But yesterday and the day before and the day before. It's just a sore throat. Like, that still exists.
I know. It's so weird that people have kind of forgotten that there are other sicknesses out there.
Yeah.
Like, you see, if someone's sick, oh, no, it's COVID. But actually, no, there's probably a million other things it could be.
Yeah. But it's been a bit of a head cold, a bit of a sore throat. You know when you swallow and your ears hurt?
Oh, I hate that
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's been that for a few days. So apologies on the podcast being out a day late, but I was in no state at all.
A day late?
2 days late. I've been in bed.
It's Friday. We go live on Wednesdays and we're recording it now. So it's going to be like 3 days late.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys.
Apologies.
My bad. But honestly, if you think my voice sounds bad now, you should have heard it a couple of days ago.
Oh, you couldn't even talk, really.
Yeah, I know.
Poor thing. And surprisingly enough, I've been okay. I haven't gotten sick at all.
You just wait.
Touch wood.
This always happens. I get something and then Kane thinks he's like this invincible man.
That's what
And then
happened.
like 3 days later, he gets hit with a case that's obviously so much worse than mine because he needs to be cared for.
That is what happened with when I got COVID. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I was laughing at you for like 5 days because I was just so immune.
Yeah.
And then it hit me man style.
Man style, exactly. And I think you just whinge more. I think that's the only difference. Yeah, big time.
No, I don't whinge. I just have to deal with the pain in a more manly way.
You just want me to like serve you like warm drinks and
I actually think I was a lot sicker.
I don't think so. I think I just have a way higher pain threshold, which is typical. I think women tend to have a higher pain threshold.
Why? Because they have babies?
Yes.
But you haven't had a baby, so you don't know.
I'm still capable.
So you reckon that because women have babies, they have a higher pain threshold?
Yes. And I think we also just get on with it and don't whinge so much because typically we aren't babied as much.
I was never babied. What? Who babied me? You?
Yes.
You baby me?
Yeah, like men have this thing where they want to be mothered.
I don't want to be. I like to be.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing quite. If I'm sick, I put my head on your lap, I get some head tickles.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all good.
I tuck you in,
You don't
make
tuck
you
me
little
in.
hot
No, you
drinks,
don't. No,
give you a little foot massage. Am I lying?
Maybe not with the foot massages.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you are kind of making me sound a lot more wimpy than I actually am.
Whereas for me, if I lie there, complain, you're like, all right, babe, I've heard it.
That is true. I'm like, okay, how many days do you think you're actually going to be sick with this? Because like I've got to plan the week.
Yeah.
I give Pia like time. Okay, it's Wednesday. You said
Will you be fine by then? No, you have actually been really very nice to me, so thank you.
I've been quite helpful.
Yeah, you have been lovely.
What are we going to talk about first today? There's a lot to run through. Lots of stuff's happened in the last 2 weeks. We haven't done the podcast in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
First week, we basically just ran out of time because we were coming to New Zealand, right?
That's right. Yeah. We spent last week in New Zealand, which was awesome. We've been to Queenstown a bunch of times. It's like one of our favorite getaways because it's 3.5 hours away from where we live in Australia. And it just feels like you're transported into another world. Like Queenstown, honestly, it just feels a little bit like Switzerland or, I don't know, Canada or something. It has a very different vibe to the Gold Coast.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the crazy things that always blows my mind is it is just 3.5 hours away. So I guess if you're in Sydney or Melbourne, it's even closer, right?
Yeah.
But like when you fly in, you come in. I don't know if you haven't been to Queenstown, you won't quite be able to picture this. But when you fly in, you're flying in a valley, like you're landing in a valley, and we're not just talking like hills on either side of the plane. It's like big ski mountains, like Everest-sized mountains that you're coming in on. And as you come down, you look out the window, and it's kind of mind blowing because all you see is mountains. It's like
But beautiful
Yeah.
snow-topped mountains.
No, but it's like an action movie.
Yeah,
The
I
first
know.
time we flew into Queenstown, I looked to my right. I was like, "Oh my goodness, we're going to crash," because it was just like a massive mountain just zooming past our wing.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it is.
It is actually, I think it's actually known to be the most picturesque airport landing in the world. It is magnificent.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. And the whole town, it basically has like brand guidelines. So the whole town, the architecture of every little building there, it sort of matches. Like they all have very similar materials and very similar aesthetic. And I remember Kane was telling me when we were there that he used to be a creative director, and once he got the job to...
Not me personally, my company. I didn't do it on my own.
No, he personally designed Liechtenstein.
No. I used to work for an ad agency or a branding agency that worked on the brand guidelines for the... I think it's a principality of Liechtenstein. So I know that this concept of branding a town or branding a location actually works. Obviously, they do it in places like Disneyland, like massive. Basically, Disneyland is a city, right?
Yeah, but like actual towns.
But it has a brand.
Yeah,
they built Disneyland like a city, so it has a brand. You walk in, you know you're there.
Yeah.
The one thing that I noticed with Queenstown is it feels the same.
Yeah.
You go there and it's like, okay, that person's house down the road looks beautiful. And then you drive 20 minutes, you see another house. You're like, well, hang on a minute. Did they all get the same designer?
Yeah.
And as it turns out, I then inquired into how much it would cost to buy land and build a house. And under the FAQs, when it was saying like, you know, can I build my own house? It said yes, so long as it conforms to
these.
like kind of the design guidelines of the area.
Oh, which
So
is just beautiful.
They must have like architectural brand guidelines. And as it happens, when you drive through, you know, 10s, 20, 30 kilometers of this beautiful town, everything looks on brand. There's no massive ugly skyscraper.
No,
There's
not
big
at all.
green building. It's just everything is beautiful. And as you say, it looks a bit like Switzerland.
They all look like modern ski chalets. Like it's very
that's
cool.
an understatement. It looks much nicer than that.
It's very, very cool. The aesthetic of it is beautiful. And the landscape of Queenstown, oh my goodness. In fact, I encourage you to go watch some of our vlogs from there because we've been there a few times and we filmed it and it is just insane. So if you guys have seen Lord of the Rings, you know the Shire where all the hobbits live? That was filmed in New Zealand.
You can go see, I think it's called Hobbiton or something like that.
Yeah,
They've named it.
yeah.
You can actually pay to go on a tour and actually see like the little hobbit houses and stuff in the fields.
I really want to do that actually. We should go do that next time we're there.
We haven't. We've been there 4 times
I
now.
would love to walk into a little hobbit house through the little like round door.
You know what's interesting about the hobbit houses? They were built, well, there was actually a lot of things with that movie that were quite interesting. They had mixed scale sets.
Yeah.
So that when the tall people or the normal sized people walked next to hobbits, there was like a very visual disparity between like a small hobbit and a real size human.
Yeah.
So when, I forget the guy's name, the tall guy.
Gandalf?
Yeah, when Gandalf walks in and he's like having to crouch over.
Yeah.
It's because they've built the hobbit house
In a smaller set.
in a smaller set for him. But then when it's hobbits only, they use a different set that's bigger so the hobbits look smaller in the set and stuff like that. Really clever.
So clever.
Yeah, nowadays you do it all with like, I guess just like one of those infinity screens they use the Mandalorian. But back then they used more kind of
Real sets.
real props and real sets. And it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, you can
But
still
we
get it.
digress. We went skiing.
We did.
Don't know
We
how
went
got
skiing.
into Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, we went skiing, which was really, really fun. However, Kane's wrist is now in a brace.
Yeah, wrist and...
It's not a cast. It's like a, what do you call that?
Yeah, it's a cast, but I can take it off because it's Velcro.
Yeah, it's like a brace.
Now, ever so grateful to NASA for creating Velcro, like we discussed last week.
See, one of the best inventions.
Skiing was good. I got to admit, like, I'm not a fan of sports where, like, sports in general. I'm not a fan of sports where you, like, actively go towards pain and danger.
Yeah.
I think that's just...
I don't think the idea is to go towards pain and danger,
Well,
darling.
it was for me. That was
it's not
my
like
whole,
a boxing match.
That was my whole week.
Yeah, I feel like you have quite an aversion for risk these days.
Yeah, I'm not an idiot. That's why. Like a boxing match, I wouldn't do that either. I like boxing as a sport, but I wouldn't go into a boxing match. I know there's pain and danger is at the end of the road.
Skiing does not lead to pain and danger. It
did
leads
for
to
me.
thrill and exhilaration.
Nah, there was no thrill. I don't like sweating too much, like just as a general rule.
Oh my god!
And I gotta admit, like skiing, it's freezing cold, like -5, and immediately I can feel the sweats coming. And I'm like, oh, this isn't pleasant. And then you go faster and you sweat sweat more. And it's like, oh, I hate this. Can I just go slow?
Aren't you trying to seek some discomfort?
No, I've worked so hard to create absolute comfort in my life that I'm now at that point where I'm like, I don't need to do any crazy stuff.
But did you have fun skiing?
I had more fun chilling out afterwards.
Oh my God.
I think everyone gets
You've become so pampered, darling.
No.
You need to like get outside your comfort zone and enjoy that.
I don't think it's pampered. I think it's just a case
It's
of
pampered.
we live in this society where we're constantly told, you know, if you're not an influencer that's doing skydiving, you're a loser. And it's like, no.
Who's saying that?
Well, no, like all influencers suddenly like find themselves and become skydivers, don't they now? Like, oh, I've found the freedom, you know, once you, like, it's like a cult, skydiving. It's weird.
Yeah, I have very little interest in that,
And
actually.
you see like all this, I call it brotivation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like bros giving other bros motivation of why you should jump out of a plane. It's like, honestly, I'm cool not doing that. I don't need to be humiliated. I'm absolutely fine on the couch.
Oh, my gosh, darling.
I'll do some stuff, but like I don't need exhilaration.
See, I like exhilaration. I found the skiing really fun. And skiing definitely isn't jumping out of a plane. We just went down the like green slope. I don't know why you think this was so extreme.
Because I kept falling over.
I guess for you it was an extreme combat sport.
There was a lot of extreme impact, especially when I impacted with that 14-year-old girl, poor thing.
Kane crashed with a girl.
Like head-on collision.
They literally smashed into each other and bounced off each other.
And all I could hear in the background was hysterical laughing from Pia.
Oh my gosh, I know. I feel so bad about this. And we genuinely had like a tiff about this because I don't know what it is about me. It is my worst trait. But if I see someone fall over, I cannot stop laughing. Like I will laugh in silence, but I cannot not laugh. It's just
You weren't laughing in silence. You were
I was
laughing
trying.
loud.
I was trying to. I wasn't laughing loud. I was trying to laugh in silence. But honestly, it was completely involuntary, and I still am so apologetic.
You weren't laughing in silence. You were literally trying to help both me and that girl up whilst just wetting yourself laughing.
I know.
And all I can do is say, like, I weigh nearly 90 kilos. This poor girl must have weighed, I reckon, 40. So all I'm doing is going, I'm sorry. Have you broken any bones? Are you okay? And then all I can hear behind me is just Pia giggling like a 5-year-old.
It's because I knew it wasn't a bad fall.
Yeah, I am in an arm brace.
If I thought you were genuinely hurt.
I've got an arm brace now. I can't even use my right hand. I am genuinely hurt.
Okay, it didn't look bad when I was watching it. It was more like comedic than like dangerous.
I'm glad you found it funny.
But Kane gets really, really mad. Like literally swears at me and then attempts to ski off.
No, Pia just kept shouting these instructions at me.
Yes.
Which is very embarrassing when I'm on the green. Is it the green slope?
Yeah.
And I'm just figuring myself out.
I was helping.
You're like, knees together, parallel left, parallel right. It's like, you've only learnt 5 minutes ago as well, by the way.
I know, but I felt like I had a good handle on it, you know? And then Kane just turns around and is like, shut up, babe. He was getting very stroppy.
Yeah. But no, look, I make it sound bad. I did actually really enjoy the skiing and I definitely want to go back.
Yeah.
But I did really...
We actually got really a lot better after the 3 days. Like, I feel like it's something that you improve in quite quickly.
Yeah. I liked it. I just really hurt myself, that's all. Yeah. But I put skiing in the same category as like skateboarding. You do it for ages and you're really bad at it.
Yeah.
And then one day, I can't even explain how it is with my skateboard. It just became like one with me.
Yeah.
Which sounds so...
Like it clicks.
So weird to say. Yeah. Like at some point, say with me with rollerblading, same with me with ice skating. Once they became part of my body, it was so easy just to go, and I know exactly where I'm putting my feet, especially on boosted board. Bit harder with my Evolve board. But my boosted board was like, it really was like an extension of my feet. Yeah. And I reckon it's the same with skiing after a certain period of time.
Yeah, at some point it just clicks and you know what movement to do.
I'm just annoyed it didn't click this trip.
Yeah.
That's what I'm bummed about.
We need to go again. We need to go more regularly.
I'm not sure if I want to keep pursuing skiing though.
Why? What would you like to pursue?
I mean, maybe snowboarding. Maybe because I'm a skateboarder, it would make more sense. But also, I don't mean to toot my own horn here, I'm a very good rollerblader too. So maybe skiing's good.
Yeah.
I know all the cool sports. Badminton, rollerblading.
You're very retro
Yeah, I
sports
don't know why
kind of guy.
my parents like made me do.
Badminton.
Yeah. Like a low impact version of tennis. Maybe they knew I was a bit of a princess even as a kid. A shuttlecock can't really hurt that much.
Seems like your kind of sport, babe.
Have you ever played squash?
Yes.
Oh, that is insane, that sport.
It's very big in Germany.
But it's also like it's a rock hard rubber ball.
Yeah, and it goes so fast.
But it also, it's really close to you from like the moment it launches to the moment it bangs off that wall and comes back. Like,
yeah, you got to move real fast.
yeah, that's torturous.
Let's go play squash.
Honestly, I'd rather not.
You're just so adventurous today. What happened to 2022 being the year of you being a yes man?
I am.
But you just said you'd rather not play squash?
I'm just saying yes to more relaxing. Look, I think there's a lot of things I do want to do. I want to play tennis a lot more, and we're getting very good at golf. Mm-hmm. We've become quite active in the last few months.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, just trying to stay out of the house.
Trying to keep ourselves busy. Yeah. Picking up some new hobbies.
Yeah, so Pia's actually got really good at golf. I'm okay.
I used to play golf when I was a little kid. So I feel like there's a little bit of like muscle memory going on there. Like I just remember the techniques and I remember the swing.
Yeah.
So I've been able to pick it up quite easily.
Yeah. And then the other thing we're doing obviously is the fitness, the running and the training and stuff. So our fitness transformation. So I'm kind of progressing in that way, but in terms of actual sports like skiing and stuff.
We thought with this fitness transformation, it would be fun to actually spend our weekends going and like playing sport and trying new activities. So rather than just spending so much time in the gym, we just go outside and like do fun, active stuff. So that's why we've been trying all these different things.
But you've got to do it because with like all, this sounds bad to say, but I think it's quite realistic. All of our friends on a Saturday, they're at the Burley Pavilion drinking. So if we're not with them, we're doing nothing. Like we're literally kind of bored.
Yeah.
So we have to give ourselves these extra tasks, like
go hiking
or whatnot. And it's good. It is actually kind of in terms of our fitness updates. I think we both had a pretty good week.
Yeah, we actually are very nicely on track.
I wouldn't say a track, but I think we're definitely not. We're trending down.
We're going in the right direction. That's right.
It takes a while, I must admit. I thought it'd be a lot quicker than this, but if I look at my health app, hold on a minute. I have gone down.
In weight? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So I've lost 1.5 kilos so far on this journey.
Okay, amazing.
And I want to lose...
No, you've lost more than that.
No, apparently not. According to the app, I thought it was more.
When did you? Is that with your latest data in there?
So I'm viewing it from the year of 2022. So from my heaviest to now, I've lost 1.5.
Oh, I've done 2.7.
Yeah, that's good.
So you know how obviously TikTok has been like dominating the social media scene lately because of the short form content that everyone now loves consuming.
I hadn't noticed.
Without tiny attention spans.
Speak for yourself.
So now obviously YouTube have released shorts.
Yep.
So now they're pushing these shorts. And actually we've been encouraged quite a lot by people to upload shorts, which is not really in our wheelhouse in terms of our YouTube content. We've typically done long form vlogs.
It's so difficult because I always feel that like, you look at Mr. Beast, for example, right? You know, if I just copy Mr. Beast, my channel would go great. Right. Well, no, obviously, because he's got a specific audience.
Yes, that's right.
It's like, what is the best time to upload? Well, I upload 8 p.m. But doesn't mean it's right for you because your audience might be in Finland and they're at 6 a.m. So
exactly.
I don't know if our audience
want
on
shorts.
YouTube want your lip syncs on shorts.
Yeah.
But on TikTok, they really do.
That's right.
So yeah,
different type of audiences.
Yeah, I think on YouTube our audience really love like
our normal vlogs,
being our friend, kind of following us on the journey, whatever it may be, whether it's a daily vlog or a chit chat or a travel vlog or whatever.
That's right. But like the 10 to 20 minute videos, you know, that are a little bit more. There's a little bit more beef and more meat to them. I think people sit down and watch YouTube for that. I still think that's what happens. Whereas if you have like 10 minutes and you're waiting, or 3 minutes and you're waiting for something, you just kind of scroll TikTok real quick. So I still view them as very different, but obviously everyone's trying to get a little piece of this short form content. So now YouTube is competing with TikTok by releasing shorts and heavily pushing that to their creators.
And monetizing it as well.
That's
is that
right.
what you're going to talk about?
Yeah, so this week they actually announced something quite game-changing, and that is that they're going to allow shorts creators to be monetized.
There is 2 major caveats there. I saw this.
Yeah.
First one, your shorts, not your channel, your shorts have to have over 10 million views before you monetize. Now that, sure, you might be lucky, but most people aren't getting lucky right now with the YouTube algorithm. So it's going to be a very select few that can earn. Plus, they're only going to give you 35%. 45. But that's after music licensing fees.
Right.
And they don't mention what that fee is. So right now with TikTok, you can use any commercial track. If you want to make a TikTok along to Ariana Grande's music, you don't get penalized. You don't get a copyright claim. Granted, you don't get paid. But basically you can do that. Whereas if you do that on YouTube, if we did that on our vlog would either get demonetized, muted, or deleted.
Yeah.
So now they're going to say, no, don't demonetize. So from a vlog perspective, I think it's pretty good because if this is coming to YouTube, I'll be able to use commercial music.
That would be amazing.
But at what cost? How much of my AdSense is going to get cut away?
For licensing.
Either on the shorts or on licensing on the long form video. Like, I'm not sure. Yeah. And YouTube haven't said. So yeah, sure, we're going to earn 45% of, if we're already losing 80%, for example, going to Sony Records or something, it's not going to be great.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. What I found interesting is that, so basically it just goes into like a shorts feed. Yeah. And then every now and then, let's say every 5th video is an ad.
Yeah.
So there's not specifically an ad on your particular short.
No, they'll allocate a fund of $1 billion and say whoever gets the most amount of views will divvy it up percentage wise.
That's right. So it's literally like, a percentage, or based on how many views you get that particular percentage of AdSense, ad revenue.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I think, like, as I said, we haven't had a short on YouTube that's gone 10 million. We've got a vlog that's gone more than 10 million, but we haven't had a short. So I can't actually experience how that's going to play out just yet.
It'll be interesting though, because I from what I see right now, a lot of people blow up on TikTok, and outside of doing brand deals, TikTok isn't very easy to monetize, right? So if you have like 10 million followers on TikTok, the only way really that you're making money is through brand deals.
Why is it any different to Instagram? This is what people it's hard to monetize.
Well, similar with Instagram, it's basically brand deals, right? But if you want to make money from an actual platform, the way to go is YouTube.
Yeah, right. So all these people that are doing, dumb stuff and getting millions of views are making $0.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Good. Let them. If they're making dumb stuff, don't pay them.
No. What I'm saying is right now, the trajectory for someone who blows up on TikTok, let's say that someone gets 10 million followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
Essentially at that point, they're like, okay, I have a really good fan base. I'm now going to try and move these people over to a YouTube channel so that I can actually monetize my content, right?
Yeah, I saw that like Dixie and Charlie D'Amelio were the first people. Addison Rae suddenly came out doing
they're all doing YouTube now,
on
right?
YouTube, and it's like, okay, why? And then you realize, oh, well, firstly, if these people have like, I call them rabid fans because they're literally insane, these fans. But then if they'll watch a 20-minute Addison Rae vlog from start to finish with ads, suddenly Addison Rae might be making
a nice amount of income.
7 figures more.
Yeah,
just by doing weekly vlogs.
Exactly. So now this is a big piece of competition for TikTok, because now all of a sudden creating this short form content, which is really easy for people to create, can actually go straight on YouTube and actually be a source of income for people. Maybe they now view this as their number one platform, and it kind of like, I guess, slows down the momentum that TikTok has.
So is this, are they basically just trying to compete with, in the same way that, Facebook and YouTube compete with Twitch for live streaming of games?
100%. So this is TikTok. This is YouTube's answer to TikTok. And the only other option really is for TikTok to respond and create a better creator fund.
See, I find this all very sad because back in the day, there was, when I say back in the day, I'm talking like 2 years ago, there was
good old days.
Netflix for, your documentaries and your TV shows. There was YouTube for the creator content.
Yeah.
There was TikTok for your short form comical stuff. And then there was Instagram for your curated photos. And then it was Facebook for chatting with your aunts, right? No, but like every platform had a purpose.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, in the same reason I have a knife and a fork. One is for poking, one is for cutting. Like, you can't have
if
all
they
your
both become
all your tools can't become the same.
That's right.
But that's what has happened. We've now got YouTube trying to be TikTok, adding stories trying to be Instagram already added stories trying to be Snapchat.
Yeah.
Snapchat, I don't know what the hell's happening with them right now. But Instagram's now also kind of prioritizing and heavily weighting the algorithm towards video rather than photos. Well, it's like, well, what happened to photos? Like,
and TikTok is doing long form content, and YouTube
TikTok,
is doing short form content.
TikTok in China looks like YouTube.com. Like, they have widescreen. It's not all portrait and it's not short form. So they're all kind of going off this TV market. And annoyingly, what's going to happen is they're all going to end up just being like
the same thing,
just TV channels.
Yeah.
So we've now got, you know, Netflix, Disney Plus, Binge,
with 30-second shows.
But then there will be a TikTok channel, and then there will be a YouTube channel, and it's going to be very frustrating because they're all just becoming media providers.
Well, and the fact that now the only difference isn't even the network, but actually how much money you can make from each individual one.
Yeah,
like
so
that's the differentiating factor.
But then if you were ever to make content based on purely on how much money you can make, that's a very slippery slope to a very low level of intelligent content.
Yeah.
Like, the dumbest stuff trends the most.
Yeah.
That's true, right? And so then we're just going to breed a nation of idiots with short attention spans.
That's exactly what is happening.
Which I know it's happening, but I also believe there's going to be a revolution against that. I think there's enough intelligent people in the world that are going to go, you know what? I don't want my kid watching Netflix, or I don't TikTok.
Do you reckon?
I think that there is going to be a shift, and I think YouTube know it. I think Netflix know it. I think all these providers know it. There's going to be a shift back to long form. You just can't. Like, we have to get smarter as a society.
Yeah.
We're getting systematically...
You can't exactly learn a lot in like 60 seconds.
No, and if you think you are one of these, you know, geniuses that are able to learn stuff from a TikTok video, well, then you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Because you can't. You need to have these long form pieces of content where you learn and where you actually kind of become a better person. You expand your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't learn anything in 60 seconds.
No, that's
really.
Right. No.
So I'm hoping, look, deep down, I'm hoping that...
Well, look, I think there's always going to be a place for it. Even if it doesn't even if there's not a massive revolution and long form content like for the win, I think there's definitely always a place for it because there are certain people, especially certain age people at least, that still look for the long form content.
Surely at some point...
The high quality long form content.
At some point in your growing up, from 15 to 18 to 20 to 25...
You move on from the silly...
Surely at some point, you just go, my goodness, this is the dumbest content ever. I need to get better.
Yeah.
Like, just as a human, I've got to be a smarter person, surely.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
And you can't do that in 60-second videos.
But there's always a new influx of 16-year-olds who are happy to just do some mindless scrolling.
That's fine. That's fine. Because
I think that there's always a place for both.
But when I was 16, we didn't have TikTok, but we did have email chains.
Yeah.
Like at my company.
Email chains?
Yeah. So like at the company I'd work at or amongst my friends and whatnot, like constantly.
Like memes and stuff?
Yeah.
Like funny
we would
things.
We'd be in group message, like basically group emails, like with 50, 60, 70 friends from my work.
Yeah, yeah.
And like some stupid joke or little MPEG file, which was funny of a monkey scratching its butt or something, would come round, and that was like basically the TikTok of the day.
Wow, that's so cool.
But like, I just didn't have it on demand in an app where I could just see unlimited
and do it for like 4 hours at a time.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I think people are going to switch. I think people's intelligence, people are realizing they're getting dumber. They're realizing that, you know, they need to, if they don't scale up their brains, no one will. And then that's the demise of society happening right there.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that people start going back a bit more to YouTube and Netflix and
Me too.
content. I think it will happen.
Either way, I think it's an interesting move that YouTube is obviously not just, you know, letting this happen, this migration. I think they're not going to just lay over and sort of slowly fizzle away.
Yeah, they can't. So firstly, YouTube will never go anywhere. And I'll tell you why. And it's kind of, I call it the feeder of social networks.
Yes, that's right.
Because every YouTuber has a massive everything else.
Yeah.
In terms of other platforms. Whereas you might be massive on Twitter and have no YouTube. Massive on Instagram, no. I saw this a lot of influencers when we were coming up would get 2, 3, 4 million followers on Instagram. Go, oh, I'm going to start being a vlogger now. And then they wouldn't get any views.
Yeah.
And like
I think YouTube long form content is the hardest to build as well.
And also if people are genuinely invested in your YouTube long form content,
Yes.
they're your mates.
That's it.
They are dedicated to you. You are in a friendship with them.
Yeah.
Very similar to podcasts, actually.
Yeah.
But with YouTube, I think it's even more intense.
Like 90% of the people that we meet out in public, 95% always follow our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Watch our vlogs.
That's right.
You know, even though actually I have a bigger Instagram.
And we post more on other platforms.
Yeah.
But if you look at the watch hours, like it's hundreds of millions of, I don't know how many hours we've had watched, but maybe not hundreds of millions. I don't know, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Do you want to talk about Welcome to Wrexham?
Do you like this music?
I love it.
I just feel bad not using it. I love it so much. It's the best. Welcome to Wrexham.
Yeah.
Look, I wanted to talk about it every week on the podcast because I like Ryan Reynolds. I love Rob McElhenney. I've actually learned how to say his name now. I love everything both of them have ever done in their careers. So I was like, I'm very invested in watching what happens.
Yeah.
But I've just got a bit bored, like, because they're not winning any games.
I know. I feel so bad.
If you haven't been following along, Welcome to Wrexham is a show with Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and also Ryan Reynolds, and they've basically bought a football team in England, like one of the worst football teams in England, and this docu-series is following them try and build it up to some sort of profitable business.
Yeah, and they've pumped a bunch of money into it.
So much money.
They've bought new players for like way more than they can sort of afford at that level and all this sort of stuff, and they're still not winning.
So I think from what I gathered this week, their running costs is £1.1 million a year.
Yeah.
If they don't win.
Yeah, that's the loss that they're running at.
Yeah, that's the loss they're running at. If they win, obviously they get some kind of financial credits from the Football Association, and it mitigates that number. But
isn't that they have to get promoted into the next league?
Yeah.
And aren't they currently smack bang at the bottom?
Well, they're definitely. No, this is the thing. This is why I'm kind of losing interest in the show, and this probably says more about me than the show, but my attention span. But like they're just going down the league, and I'm not that interested in football that much. I'm interested in the story. So like I'm kind of hoping by episode 6 that they're like at number 1. They've kind of
we're still gonna watch it because I want to see what happens.
I'll still watch it, but my interest in it has certainly it's a bit repetitive now.
I can see even that the last couple of episodes has been much more heavily focused on Ryan and Rob.
Yeah,
because they're clearly trying to provide more content other than just losing games.
I think it might be that, or it might be that they just need to really drive up views, maybe.
Yeah.
Because like the last episode was just basically them doing a TV show.
Yeah, that's right.
So maybe they're just
like
trying to ramping up a little bit more views. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope it gets good. For the sake of the whole town, I want the show to succeed, and I want the team to succeed. But
I still have a feeling it will. I don't know why, but I feel like if it all fizzled out, they wouldn't air it. And the fact that it's live on Netflix, I'm like...
Disney Plus.
I feel like, it must be going somewhere, surely.
I don't know. But what's very annoying is the episode that I'm watching, I think, was filmed in October last year. So almost 12 months ago.
Yeah.
And I could very easily Google where they are in the league now and find out.
Oh, could you?
And it is taking every ounce of my willpower to control myself so that I don't. Like a number of times I've actually gone to Google and typed in Wrexham current place, and no.
Oh my gosh! Now that I know I can do that, I'm gonna have to control myself.
They're running a year behind.
Oh,
so maybe they are doing really well now.
Oh, I really want them to get promoted. I really feel for them.
So like I'm not following Ryan Reynolds or Rob on any social platforms at the moment either.
Really? Because you don't want to see what happens?
No, I'm trying to, because they're launching it like 2 episodes a week or something on the show.
Oh, hilarious.
So yeah.
Oh, the other thing that happened this week is Queen Elizabeth passed.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that? Given
you're
a British, you're our British correspondent here.
Oh, well, yeah.
Live from the UK, we have Kane with us.
I did watch the funeral. It was very cool.
It was very cool.
I actually quite like the pomp and circumstance around it.
Yes.
I'll be honest. I don't necessarily... I always think that I'm one of these people that wants to abolish the monarchy, but also I quite like the concept of it being... Like, it's the only thing that links us directly to our past, like many hundreds of years. Nothing else does. Maybe a couple of buildings, but like in terms of life traditions, like that are actually real. So like not Father Christmas, for example, but like an actual life tradition of a king and a queen.
Yeah.
That's just the way our planet has been since like arguably the beginning of, documentation. And so
like empires
Yeah.
ruled by kingdoms. Yeah.
like it's kind of cool. Like what we just experienced on whenever it was Wednesday would have also happened in kind of a Game of Thrones style castle 500 years ago when the king or queen at that time died. And it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was very cool to watch. I really like the choreography of the Royal Navy.
It was a bit girly, wasn't it?
No,
like,
I mean, it was
all
just...
of them dress a bit like they don't look like they're good fighters. They look like they're all ready for pantomime.
Yeah, like, the outfits were amazing.
Weird, hey?
Yeah.
Like you look at the American Marines and they're like, they look at you and they could kill you.
Yeah.
You look at our sailors and like,
with their little tights on.
Yeah, it just didn't seem very like ready for action.
No, I think they spend most of their time practicing the marching,
ironing their clothes by the looks of things.
But it was very, very cool to watch, I have to admit.
It was very regal.
Essentially, they're just political figureheads now, right? Like they don't have any real political power, do they?
I think if the king or the queen tells someone to do something, they're pretty much in command.
You reckon?
Yeah, I reckon. I mean, the queen was regularly at all of those kind of what they call the Vanderbilts. No, like those events that happen with all the rich people.
Oh, those events.
Yeah, like the events, the Bohemian Grove style events that we don't talk about on here anymore.
Yeah, right. I guess they do have a lot of power and influence over people,
like
right?
Yeah, absolutely. What was it? What's that thing called? Queen attends. Is it called the Vanderbilt?
Definitely not the Vanderbilt.
Crash Bandicoot? No, there's events which like the billionaires go to.
Yeah, isn't that the...
Not just the World Economic Forum stuff.
Grove thing?
Well, I think that's more of an induction into a bit of a cult, but the ones that like officially like all of the billionaires go to, not at the World Economic Forum, but there's other ones where they all get together. And I don't think it's as sinister as they kind of, as the people on Facebook would like to make out. I think it's just a case of, in the same way we might go to a conference with a load of other content creators and, mingle.
Yeah.
If you're a billionaire CEO,
you mingle with
you
other...
might want to go to another conference with a load of other billionaire CEOs, so at least you can rub shoulders with the right people and say, hey, how do you handle having 100,000 staff? Like, I don't really have many people to talk to about this. So I think that's kind of where they go. But the Queen used to go to that sort of stuff, and they used to plan. Like, have you noticed, like, after all these years of climate change being poo-pooed, all of a sudden, straight after COVID, climate change is number one thing for all countries all of a sudden.
Yeah, to deal with.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain climate change was kind of first mentioned in the 1960s.
Yeah, and they just kind of ignored it.
And it got to the point where it's been so badly ignored and people now just view it as a complete conspiracy theory that there's all these cloud seeding and like it's just insane what people are saying.
Yeah.
And now the government's coming on, oh yeah, we got to fix that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just seems so odd that every country this year has suddenly, okay, let's address it now.
Yeah, that is odd.
When actually they were told like...
It must be at these events that they've gone, look, we can't deny the science anymore. We have to start taking this seriously.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's interesting that the Queen goes to these things. But I guess, yeah, of course, she went to these kind of things. Like, how do they make their money, the royalty? Like, is it literally taxpayers' money that goes to them?
I think there is some sort of salary they get. But also, don't forget, they've got... I saw this breakdown of this chart on the internet, and it was kind of, they've got state assets, I think they're called,
right,
which are like $200 billion.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah,
really?
There's so much wealth. I think her actual liquid cash was like 240 million.
Wow.
Yeah, like they've got.
But and this is just taxpayer dollars.
I don't know where the money comes from. I imagine a lot of it comes from like jewels and stuff. Don't forget, back in the day, like if the king of another country would come to England, they'd like bring a jewel as a gift. So
you think this is like sort of been that wealth has just been handed down through generations?
Yeah.
But I think originally it was just like the tax money.
I think originally it came from rape and pillaging, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, that's true.
Like a lot of people are like abolish the Queen because the whole concept of the monarchy is bad and they're evil people.
Yes.
And I'm sure
I think there's a pretty decent argument for that too.
Yeah, look, I mean, the world's not great anywhere, is it? You can't just abolish everything that's just not 100% to 2022 standards.
The Queen seemed pretty nice though. Like she seemed kind of like witty. She seemed kind of funny.
I don't know. I don't know. I think there's a weird kind of cultural point where everybody wants everything to be cancelled if it isn't exactly up to standard now.
That's
like
right.
I saw they were cancelling comedies from the 1970s. And like, yeah, everyone said dumb stuff in the 70s. Like, we didn't realise you can't just cancel entire people's careers because they did something that was appropriate at the time.
Exactly.
Although I think the Queen may have done some stuff that was inappropriate even at her time.
Oh, yeah. I think in general, the royal family did a lot of things that were inappropriate.
Well, when you think about a royal family and they're just like the British Empire.
Yeah.
Like, did every country in the British Empire give up easily? Were they like, oh, hi, we're India. What's your name? Britain? Oh,
No,
yes, please.
They were overthrown in wars.
Exactly. So, like, I understand why people might want to abolish the Queen.
Yeah.
But hopefully we can just, like, learn from that and not do that sort of stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Whilst I like the tradition. I think.
You like the tradition?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Should we do my fun facts?
We should.
This is like the best part of the podcast now.
Yeah, I agree.
Like everyone writes in about this bit.
The whole thing should just be fun facts.
Well,
why don't we do that?
I was wondering
45 minutes of fun facts.
Well, I mean, it'll be educational.
Which have not been
starters.
fact-checked in any way.
Oh, that could be... Oh, my goodness. Maybe we rename the podcast and call it Not Fact Checked.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
And we just talk whatever with big disclaimer saying none of this is true.
These are opinions only.
Yeah, opinions only. I do have that in the bio anyway. I was like,
we should probably make that a disclaimer regardless.
but like there is another podcast called AITA. Am I the a-hole?
Oh,
and they just basically go through the AITA Reddit and they read it out and they ask the question to the other person, and that's like a massive thing. So maybe we could just do fun facts and not have to worry about everything else.
I like that idea.
Like, you got to find your niche, right? Maybe our audience really just want to educate
Let us know,
themselves.
guys. Do you just want half an hour of fun facts once a week?
pub facts. I mean, we're basically wine time. People are having a drink while we're having a drink.
Yeah.
And just
hit them with...
Yeah, maybe we just hit you with facts that are not 100% true. Maybe.
Maybe.
We have no way of checking. I'm getting them all from Reddit.
I like this idea. Hit me with the facts,
all right,
baby.
Fact number 1.
Okay.
Here we go. Ready? Back in the days of dinosaurs, there was no grass. So not one dinosaur on Earth has ever stood on grass.
That's a lie. Surely that's a lie.
Why is that?
Because there was so many plants. Why wouldn't there be grass? What did all the herbivores eat? I feel like this is one that's wrong.
Yeah, maybe this is wrong. Hey, I just opened it and read it out. I read it straight away. I didn't even read the second paragraph.
I feel like that can't be right. Maybe it's right. Maybe grass is like a plant that didn't exist back then.
Maybe they could still eat like leaves.
There might have been
stuff.
trees and
Well,
shrubbery.
a follow-up comment has said grass is a relatively modern development.
Oh.
One of the theories of why primates moved out of the forests had to do with the origin of grass.
Oh.
Imagine our proto-ape ancestors happily living in the trees, eating fruit and doing occasional savaging on the forest floor, which would have been busy with predators. The whole world is mostly jungle. When the planet starts to cool a bit, grasses begin to appear. Some animals begin to develop advanced digestive organs, enabling them to subsist on grass.
Oh, okay. So grass is a newer development.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. So jungle and shrubbery was basically it for the dinosaurs. Gosh, imagine seeing the world back then when it was pretty much just jungle. It would have just been paradise.
You know, the opening sequence to the last Jurassic Park movie?
Yeah.
Like, it's just visually so incredible.
Yeah.
I think they released like 7 minutes of it just to YouTube before the movie came out.
Yeah.
Because it just looks so great.
Oh, it's just amazing.
But imagine how dangerous it would be. Like, you would not want to be there. You'd want to be there, like...
Why? Because of the dinosaurs?
Yeah. Dinosaurs will eat you.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, fair point. Yeah, we wouldn't have been the biggest predator. We would have been prey.
Yeah, without a doubt. Have you seen how big a T-Rex is? It's much bigger than us.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm aware.
Do you remember last week or the week before I mentioned that if you feel dizzy when you stand up to clench your buttocks and it will relieve the dizziness?
Yeah.
That's true.
Did you do that while you were skiing?
Oh, I should have done that. Hey. Apparently, it doesn't just have to be your buttocks. It could be your legs. You could tense your calves or your quads or your...
Oh.
Yeah.
So just tense anything.
Just tense and you'll basically not dizzy up. So
That's good to know.
another incredibly amazing fact.
Mm-hmm.
This is true because I checked this one. We landed on the moon before suitcases had wheels.
You're kidding.
No, first suitcase with wheels on the bottom was 1970, and we landed on the moon a year before.
Wow.
So the astronauts would have had to lug their luggage up to the spaceport. They couldn't have dragged it along the street.
Oh, wow. What a pain.
All right, this is another one. This does not sound believable to me.
Okay.
Really doesn't sound believable. I'm going to read it out anyway because it does make me chuckle a bit. Abraham Lincoln was assassinated in 1865. The samurai were abolished in 1867. I'm assuming they meant like samurai ninjas.
Oh, wow.
Not the sword. And the fax machine was invented in 1843. That's the bit that doesn't seem believable.
That doesn't seem believable at all.
I feel like the telephone didn't come out till like 1980 or something.
Yeah.
What was the fax machine 100 years earlier?
How's that possible?
Anyway,
don't you need like... Did they have
phone and power
yeah.
and paper on a roll and a thermal printer?
I think that's entirely wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the fact was that a samurai could have sent a fax to Abraham Lincoln. I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true either.
All right, guys, ignore that one. That
Maybe it is, but it doesn't sound right at all. Have you got another one?
I do, and this is a really good one. And I'm going to go with this one also being potentially not true.
Okay, this is just not a true fact. So fiction.
This is just made up on Reddit. The term OMG can be tracked back to Winston Churchill in 1917.
No, that is wrong. These people are trolling this Reddit feed.
Do you not think that's true?
No way.
Oh, I reckon that could be true. Like, when you're dealing with like a fountain pen, you want to shorten your words, right?
So you think he wrote OMG?
Yeah, I can't
BRB.
Can't think what context Winston Churchill would have said OMG.
GTFO, babe.
Oh, I've actually got 3 pretty interesting animal facts. Would you like all 3 of them?
Yes.
I bunched them together because I thought they were interesting.
Yeah.
All right. First one, a raccoon can hold its breath for 40 minutes.
That's insane.
I have no way of knowing if that's true or not.
Okay.
Sounds cool though. But seeing as me with much bigger lungs can hold my breath for about a minute, 40 might not be believable.
It just seems unlikely.
But then a whale can hold its breath for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's a whale.
All right, next one. Giraffes have the same number of neck bones as a human. That's true.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's just stretchy vertebrae.
Really?
Yeah, it's just longer bones. They don't have like... Yeah, of course.
Really?
Yeah, skeletons, it's the same, isn't it?
Okay.
They don't have loads more like...
I'll take your word for it. What, so they just have way bigger vertebrae?
I think so.
The same amount in our spine or in our neck? Because I feel like we have like 2 in our neck.
I don't know. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I might have 6 between my shoulder blades and my head.
Well, then giraffe vertebrae must be really long.
I'm just going to Google giraffe. What is it called? Skeleton diagram. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness. How many, babe, how many vertebrae did I just count in my neck?
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I must have miscounted myself.
Wow.
Giraffes have the same number.
Really?
Wow, I've just educated myself.
Wow, amazing.
Wow. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Did not think that. The last animal one, which is kind of cute. Guinea pigs can eat within 3 hours of being born.
Oh,
Like solid
that's
food.
Really cute.
Their go-to is just chewing.
Why are human babies so
Lame.
helpless compared to other mammal babies?
I think, and this is very controversial, it's because we're not from this planet. No, I'm not joking.
You need to put your conspiracy theory music on.
Hang on a minute. Yeah.
Like, I don't understand because my dad has horses, right? And like when a foal is born.
Oh, yeah. Walking around, 30 seconds.
Yeah, in 20 minutes, it's like standing and walking and like knows how to like drink milk from its mother.
I know. Isn't it insane? Like, I'm not even joking. I do believe that humans might be like an experiment put on planet Earth by a far more intelligent species on another planet. Just say, hey, let's put them over on Earth, see how they integrate with the standard ecosystem. And we're not doing a very good job, let's be honest. Like, if humans weren't on Earth would be a lot better.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe we just got plopped here and we're, like, not quite finished.
It is odd because we're like way slower developed than every other animal.
The slowest.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing that develops slower.
Even like elephants and stuff that like live really long and are big, like big animals. Like they still can get up and walk.
Sharks can live for like 400 years.
What? No, they can't.
Yes, they can.
What? One individual shark?
I mean, I'm not bunching them together. Shark age.
Are you serious? I know turtles can live to like 100
20
years.
to 30 years.
Yeah, that's a complete lie. Turtles can...
No. The Greenland shark has the longest known lifespan of all vertebrate species, estimated to be between 250 and 500 years old.
You're kidding.
Nah.
Whoa.
Yeah, but like a hammerhead will live to like 40 years.
I thought turtles were like the oldest animal, like in terms of longest lifespan.
Yeah, that's like 1,000 years, isn't it?
What? I thought like 100,
No.
200?
No. I think like...
That is crazy.
Giant turtle age span. Yeah, I think it's like...
That's like vampires. You know when you watch a vampire movie and they were like, yeah, I was here in 1809. There's like turtles that were there too.
The average lifespan of a turtle was 150 years.
Yeah.
However, researchers have said that some estimates say that larger turtles may be able to live up to 400 to 500 years.
That is wild.
Those little turtles would have gone through World War I, World War II, all the stupidity we have
Way
to deal
more
with.
than that. There's some humans that have gone through all of that.
Yeah, and they'll just be sitting there going, these Muppets, still at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, my theory might be that humans were put on this planet as an experiment.
So you think humans are aliens, essentially?
I think if you use the word aliens in the wrong way, you sound like a nutcase. But I do. Okay, so if I put you out on the beach,
we're going back to the survival.
If I put you, yeah, absolutely, 6 hours for me. If you,
I just think we've lost the ability to be proper animals, like the human animals that we were. I think we've lost that ability because we've gotten too comfortable in our little city lives. But I think...
Yeah, but we've become princesses as well.
But do we need clothes or is it just for modesty and style?
I think we need clothes for warmth mainly.
Yeah, okay. So maybe in some wintry conditions we couldn't naturally survive.
Yeah,
but if you were like in Bali,
nude. But you'd want aircon at that point.
Yeah, I mean, you'd survive without it though. You could just build a shelter.
If we go to Bali, you get covered in mosquito bites. Like, why does no other animal get covered in mosquito bites?
They do.
No, they don't.
Just deal with it.
No, I've never seen an itchy cow.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? That's why they're like moving their tails to swat the flies constantly.
But not mosquito bites.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm pretty certain mosquitoes only eat humans.
That is not true at all.
I've never seen something with a welt other than a human.
This podcast is loaded with incorrect facts about animals. No, lots of animals suffer from hectic mosquito bites.
Oh, I do not believe that.
That is 100% true.
Also, like even a monkey, if we apparently have evolved from a monkey, they've got hands on their feet.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah.
So what, have we evolved backwards? Because I reckon having hands on my feet is better than having feet on my feet.
Depends if you value running more than like juggling.
No. Have you seen how fast a monkey is compared to us? Chimpanzee can easily outrun us.
That's true.
Like,
yeah,
and
that's true.
Like really, and they can eat
I would
4
love
bananas
to have
at the same
opposable
time.
toes.
Yeah.
That'd be really handy.
Yeah. Oh, just pick up that grape I dropped on the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that we are, potentially not from Earth. I think most people probably kind of deep down believe the same.
All right. Well, this was a very weird podcast. I think I know my excuse, and that's because I've got a lot of Codral. I don't know what you're going on about.
Just red wine.
Thanks for joining us this week, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.